Hey y'all, welcome back to
Colorful Situations,
a
a conversation about love, marriage, and everything in between.
I'm Sunny.
And I'm Liv. Hey girl.
Hey.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Eh.
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 Okay, since you want to be what color is
That is red. Yes, it's red. I don't know if you can see it, but it's red.
Okay. And what is that red for?
I'm mad because I am skeptical.
Okay.
There are some things that I got my eyebrow up on. If I could be the Rock and do that one eyebrow thing, I would. Yeah, like that right there. Then I would totally do it. But the root of that goes down to the center, and that's just mad. Because I'm mad at certain things, I begin to question everything and be skeptical about a lot of things because I'm mad.
We're going to get through it. You want to talk about it?
Nah.
Okay. Well, we don't have to.
All right.
Maybe another time.
Maybe another time.
Yeah. Somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
You feel like you want to tell the people about it.
I always will tell the people at some point I would tell the people. But I do know that the ColorBeams, when I show up, that red always changes by the time we get through talking. Well, how you feeling? What's your color?
Today I am excited.
I'm
excited for things to come.
Okay.
You know, we have some things in store, for the show and some things outside of the show. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm excited. So that puts me on orange.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm orange today.
All right. Well, that's good. So are you ready for the topic?
What are we talking about today?
Well, this is not let's make a deal, but we're talking about a package deal.
Package deal.
A package deal.
Tell me more.
You know how some people be like, well, you don't just marry the person, you marry the family. Like It's a package deal.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
She haven't heard, but she never heard any sayings that I say. But anyway, so
I know the concept.
Okay. So yes. So you feel like you meet the love of your life and you're with this person and only you and this person will be together and y'all gonna go off into the sunset. Boom, lo and behold, after you walk down that aisle, here come mama and daddy and niece and nephew and auntie May May and Bubba and all.
Man and Tony.
All of that. Is that a real thing? Like, y'all hear me say that all the time. Is that a real thing? But should it be that way? Should it be a package deal?
I think in some instances, yes, it is. Because people have different relationships with their families. If you don't have a relationship with your family, how can this be? Right. It could be your extended family. It could be the family that you chose, but it may not be your blood family. Yeah. So I'll say yes.
But if you're marrying one person, right, and you're honoring and creating a union with one person, does it become difficult to create that union with a couple of people? Like, say for instance, you get along with your mate, you get along with the person that you say I do to, but that package deal you don't necessarily get along with.
Well, the thing is that in regular everyday, you're not going to get along with everyone. Yeah. And when it's more than two people, you have to figure out how to get along with people if you want to, or if it's possible. So yeah, I mean, hey, you don't have to, even though people do say, yeah, so if you gotta love my mama, you gotta like my sister, right? You gotta all this other kind of stuff. That's kind of tough because, like me, I am. People that know me know that I like to be by myself a lot. Yes, I prefer to be by myself. Yeah, and I have a whole family and people that I could call, all this other kind of stuff, but I'd rather be by myself. My wife, on the other hand, she's very close with her family. So I've had to kind of figure out some things. And it's not to say even now that I'm super close with her family, but I mean, I could call them if I needed to, I would think, and they could call me if they need to. I hope they know, you know, but I mean, it's just kind of figuring out. It's just figuring it out.
Yeah. And you're right. You're right. I do feel like there are certain things that are package deals that you cannot get out of, and then there are certain things like should Mama and Man and Uncle Bubba, should that be a package deal if you're not in like a caregiver type of mode? You know what I mean? So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about two different ones because I always have some questions. ColorBeams, y'all should be used to that. So, you ready?
I am. Let's go. Like a Hertz commercial. Let's go.
Right. Okay. So, once you're married and that person says, hey, you gotta love my mama. Or on the honeymoon, you get ready to go to this beautiful resort over in so-and-so. And then here come mother-in-law and father-in-law, and we all doing a family trip. We all going together.
Mm-hmm. What's your question?
Do you continue to be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to do this? Are you obligated once you say I do to take the package?
Are you obligated to take the package?
Yes.
So I feel like hopefully before you decide to marry someone or before you decide to say I do, I feel like these are avenues that you've already traveled down to see how you feel about it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I feel like you should have at least a connection with the mama. You don't at least the mama and the daddy. At least the mama and the daddy. I mean, because it's kind of odd to say, oh well, I've never met my wife's mom or something like that. So I think before you even take those steps, those are things that you should take into consideration because you might not like their family. They might have some streetishness going on that you just can't get with. You know what I mean?
Some hood.
Yeah. But you should know at least the parents. Yeah. And you don't have to, if you're not living with these people, you don't have to be like, oh yeah, come on. Just kind of, I don't know. I'm not seeing you every day. I'm not sleeping with you. I'm not eating with you. I might see you on Sundays if we come for dinner, at family events during the holidays. But all of the other stuff, depending on what the relationship is, I don't think it has to be.
Yeah. And if you do have a package deal, if that person comes to you before you get married or whatever and say, hey, I'm really close knit with my family, we do everything together, you should be able to navigate that and talk about what that looks like for you. Right. And say, hey, okay, well, I understand that you're close knit with your family, but we're not going to go over there every holiday, or we're going to split holidays, or
boundaries
every Sunday, or, well, that's good that you're close with them. I'm not moving into your mama's house.
Right.
Whatever it is for you. In this package deal conversation, though, there are some things that come up. So my next question is, if you say, okay, honey, that's a package deal, I'm with you because I love you and I'm going to take you and everything, mama, day, and all. Who is responsible to correct that family member in law if they step out of line?
That's a good one. So in thinking about, I think a conversation that we had before in talking about, so how long have we been together? How long have I known your family since we were teenagers? You my teenage love, and we've been together 40 years and things like that. I would like to say that if we've been together that long and I've been a part of the family and we're all close like that, then we friends, we're sisters, we're brothers. That's my niece, that's my nephew, and I could check you.
Yeah. Okay.
The way that I am with my wife's family, it's not my place to say anything. If I feel some kind of way, I would definitely go to her because like I said, I feel like I could call them if I needed to, and I feel like I would hope that they feel the same. But if I had an issue, I'm going straight to her because it's not my place, and we don't have those really close, tight knit relationships.
So you feel like? Do you feel like there's a time limit on how close you can be? Do you feel like if it's 5 years, 10 years or under, you go to your mate, but if it's 15 years or more and y'all been together, then you could just go ahead and go to the family?
Well, no, I feel like it's more so of the connection that you have with the family.
Okay.
Yeah. The connection that you have with the person or
versus the time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I feel like it will probably depend on the issue, when it comes to that. But definitely, if mother-in-law cannot stay in mother-in-law's lane, it starts somewhere. And if you say, hey, I love my family and this is a package deal, understand and know that I'm family too.
Yes. Ultimately, I'm family first.
That was going to be my next statement. I'm family too, and I'm family first. So realizing that it really depends on how that person merges you in, right? If they say, oh, we a family deal and you got to but you let mama come and talk to me outside the neck and do all of this or whatever, then you're not really taking on the responsibility of honing me into this family or putting me into the place of where I should be as your spouse. I have an issue with that.
Right.
But there are some people who can merge people in because of them saying, hey, I'm close-knit with my family, but family, she's family. We're going to be cordial. Mama, this is the boundaries that we have. And I'm going to tell mama, being your daughter, I'm going to tell mama, me and my wife have decided that we're not coming every Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put that on my wife that I'm bringing into the family to make her, and everybody's looking at her like, oh, well, she don't never want to come over here because she always got to go to her family. No, I'm deciding that this is how it's going to be. Because just like it's a package deal for me, her family is a package deal too.
Yeah. Well, I'm the bad guy anyway, so I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy, so I got stuff going on. I am. I mean, because again, I prefer to be by myself.
In your bubble, yeah.
I prefer to be either by myself or just me and my wife. Yeah. I mean, I'm open to, as we move further on, I'm more open to doing things. I mean, and over the years I've grown because, I'd be like, nope. I'm waiting on the call to say we cancel the event, but I know that I can't be that way because of the type of person that she is. Right. She's more extroverted. Yes. So we have to have some kind of balance, Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I meant when I said I'm the bad guy.
I get that. So we've talked about the family. We talked about mama who, may or may not overstep her boundaries. Because, the reality is you do have some in-laws that take you in and you want it to be a package deal because they're so welcoming, they're so understanding. They know of boundaries. They allow their children to have their own families and not be controlling, right? But there is another package that we want to talk about.
Really quickly, I just thought about, and talking about those boundaries and how people feel about it. There's a thing where, say you're having an issue or something, and who can I run to? And we run into the family. So that plays a role in how people treat, talk,
yes,
and overstep and things like that.
That is true.
So
that is true. That is a very true statement.
And that's something that has to be put to bed with those boundaries. And,
yes. Because it can make the other person feel uncomfortable with that package deal if you are going and talking and saying certain things or putting the business out there, and
now you getting the side eye when you come around, or they don't even want you to come around.
They don't even invite you no more.
Because say if something is going on and you come to your wife and you say, well, your sister was da-da-da-da, and you go back and tell your sister. Now your sister got an attitude. Your sister that told your mama. Your mama told, all this other kind of stuff. So you first and foremost have to have an understanding between you and your spouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this is the vault.
Exactly. Exactly. If you don't know how to say it, don't say it at all, and I'll figure it out on my own.
If I don't like your mama greens, I'm going back to
exactly. Yes, the greens will part like the Red Sea, child. Put a divide between the whole family. Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. Okay. So now we're done with mama and greens and auntie. So, but there is another package deal that maybe this is the first type of package deal that people think of, right? Which is kids.
Yes.
She don't do it, but which is kids. There's some people who choose to date people who have kids, and I have been a single parent, so I know all about that. So my question is, in having kids and it being a package deal, is there a good or a bad time, or is there a time in which it's more appropriate for you to introduce those kids or that person to your kids?
It's interesting because even though I've been in some relationships where people have had kids, the last relationship that I was in, they were teenagers, so I think when they're teenagers, I think it was pretty quick as teenagers. But as far as the little babies, I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience, but I do know that bringing people in and out of young children's lives does have an impact on their outlook on relationships and how they go and, what's supposed to happen and things like that.
So if Liz, our baby, was a human and say she was about 7, and you met your now wife, first coming around, how long do you think you would have? Or what do you feel would be appropriate time frame to where you feel like you could have trusted her to come around?
I don't know. Well, in addition to the fact that, I had good feelings about my wife.
Yeah.
Early on. Yeah, early on. And, I kind of felt like I knew that this was going to be, it. So, yeah. I don't know. Because when we go into relationships, I think that we don't go into them like this is going to be a short something.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you something, get off topic just real quick. We're going to come back to it. Having to do with that is my wife and I were having a conversation earlier today, and we were talking about relationships, and we both agreed that relationships that we had in the past, it's kind of like there was a point where we knew, nope, this is not it.
Yeah.
But that point may have come like 3 years in, or it might have been it might have been 2 years. So are you going to keep your child a secret for 3 years? I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
I do feel like you definitely need to know what it looks like when you're a parent and a single parent. You need to have that thought up front for yourself. And most importantly, you need to think about your children, because the different stages of where they are do affect them in different ways. And different kids need different things.
Right.
And if you are uncertain about this ex person, then they definitely don't need to be coming around.
Right.
But if you have a good feeling about this person and your child is of teenager years or something like that, you may just have more of a conversation with them to say, hey, this is what's going or whatever. But in the regards of package deals, your children is a package deal. That is a no-go.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Mama, Day and them, you can take it or leave it, but your kids, you're guiding them, you're part of their life. That's all they got.
Right.
Right? So you have some responsibility to make sure that you vet the people out. Now, as a single parent, have I always done that? No. Has it turned out bad? Yes. So that's why I'm saying that I do feel like there should be some time frame in that. So definitely not on the first date. And I hear nowadays that there are sometimes people who be like, oh, I go pull up first date. She got her and her kids out there. We all going to dinner.
Story.
Do you agree with first date bringing a kid? I don't.
Well, Well, I don't know. Because it depends. It's like, first, how long have we been talking? How long have you met the kids? Because, video, you met the kids over the phone. Have y'all been talking
I'm talking about first date.
No.
And
but even if you want to put it out there, if you want to I'm going to let you know what you're in for. I don't know.
I mean, that's true. Like, I have told people up front, hey, I'm a single parent. What do you feel about that? Mm-hmm. Or I have 2 kids.
As you should.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
First date, I may talk about it if the first date is going good and I feel like I want a second date. No. What do you feel about kids?
Right.
How do you feel about this? Because I have them. Let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But in the day of age of online dating and you've been talking to somebody for a long time, you may have already talked about that conversation and told them that you had kids. But if I'm meeting you for the first time, you are not going to meet my kids for the first time.
Yeah. Different strokes for different folks. People do it. People do
it. They do. They really do. They really do. So I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. You and your mate have been together. Why are you side-eyeing me?
I'm just listening. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting.
I feel the freeze. Okay, so you and your mate have been together for a while or whatever. Or you and your significant other, as far as like committed relationship, and things happen. Mm-hmm. And there's a baby that come in. Mm-hmm. Is that outside baby? Outside of that person had a baby? And we do know, understanding that being in a lesbian relationship, same-sex relationship, that's a lot there to unpack yes. with that. Because if we're together and you go and have a baby,
what's going?
You out there with somebody.
You're in the streets. You for the streets.
That's naturally able to give you babies. So what is happening? You are for the streets. Yes. So that's a whole nother colorful conversation that we'll cover. But I do just want to talk about, if there is an instance where outside baby does come into your relationship, is that a package deal? If you decide to forgive your mate for that cheating, if you decide to stay, do you get to say, hey, I'm gonna stay with you, but that baby ain't never coming here. You ain't never doing nothing with that baby?
I think this is more of a question for the people.
Okay.
Because I've seen this happen.
Uh-huh.
And I've seen where we have kids. Mm-hmm. You try to bring another baby over. No, we're not doing it. Mm-hmm. Is the response. Mm-hmm. But then I'm thinking, because it's not my situation, so I can look at it and say
in a different way.
Oh my goodness, you don't want your kids to know their siblings. Oh mm-hmm. my goodness, anything might happen. They need to know who their family is and all this other kind of stuff. But I can say that on the outside because it's not happening to me.
Yes.
So I don't know. I think that's more so for the people. What's your response to that?
Well, I would say that the reason why we have colorful situations is because your girl has been in some colorful situations, and I have had a situation to where there was a child that was born, and someone had forgiven the person that they were with, but didn't necessarily
forgive and accept
that child. And it was very hard in the beginning, because the only thing that person saw was that child was attached to me,
right,
and to what happened amongst their relationship. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to say, well, you can't, that child didn't ask for it, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Because if and when you just look at that child and all you see is a hurt of what happened, the betrayal,
right,
it's hard to then be there for that child. Me, on the other hand, I do feel like if you forgive that person and you're with that person, and especially in a marriage, then again, it's a package deal, right? And especially if you have, and I can only say just for me, if you have children and now there is a sibling out there that, you know, they're going to find out at some point, you're going to just keep these kids away from each other. And you really can't do that, because when these kids are older, they're going to try to find out who their people are. And social media is so big.
Yes.
They find each other. They figure it out. Some people say maybe it's better because now they're adults or they're teenagers and they're able to deal with it and handle with it. But my whole thing is, if you cannot deal with that package deal, why are you dealing with the package?
I agree.
Why are you dealing with the person? You still want to be with that person, but you want them to just turn and not take care of their being and their seed? That's a lot to ask somebody.
It's a lot.
Well, yeah, the whole situation is a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Because it's a lot on both ends.
Right.
It's a lot on the woman who has to look that child in the face to say, I'm sorry. This is a situation that mama put you in. Mm-hmm. It's a lot to deal with, because then as that child grows up, there may be some anger and animosity towards the mama.
Yeah.
Because where is the other person? Mm-hmm. You know, it's a lot for the person to take care of somebody and bring you in and really have some love and care for you, like I do my children, because, you know, that calls for me to be the bigger person. And frankly, a lot of people don't want to be the bigger person. They don't feel like they have to.
And I really feel like if I felt like you felt some kind of way about my baby coming up, I don't even trust you to be around, because I know you would hate to think that people do things to kids, but these people are very spiteful and vindictive. All of those words towards a child, an innocent child that didn't even ask to be here. You know, so you probably wouldn't even have to worry about me.
Yeah.
Hey, trying to beg you to get my child to come over. You know, we'll do it another time or do it some other kind of way.
Yeah. But now, and I agree with you, and that ultimately happened in my situation as well too. Mm-hmm. But you know, the thing is that if people do make mistakes, which we all do, and some may say, well, that's not a mistake, that's a choice, and that's absolutely right too. Mm-hmm. But it's also your choice to stay.
Definitely.
So, you know, counseling is, we always say counseling is a great thing. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's a way to figure that out. But at the end result, you have to think about the whole picture. And when it comes down to kids, it is a package deal. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel.
I agree. I mean, that's one of the things, like you said before, that you can't get past. But when it comes to the kids, either you're going to be there or you're not.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's my cold situation for this episode.
Yep. So if you identify with any of this,
yeah,
whether it's the mom package, the family package, the auntie package, or even the baby package.
Yeah.
And you feel some kind of way, it's got you kind of boiling over, you're thinking about it, and it's kind of making you feel some kind of way, you're in the red. Yeah. If you have been in any of these situations with the mom or the kid, you know, and you kind of finding your way, because that's a thing too. You got to figure it out.
You do.
And maybe you might fall, but you come back. Fall, come back, you figure it out. You're in the yellow. You're just trying to follow the yellow big road to the end, so that we can all be cordial. We can all come to the family thing. All go to the baby basketball game and be all good.
That part.
You're in the yellow because you're working on it. But if you either don't have these issues, or the family is good, the co-parenting is good, and all of that kind of stuff, you're in the green.
And my hats are off to you all, because to get through any of those package deal, colorful situations take a lot of grace, a lot of humility, and a lot of patience.
Yes. And you know, mine is Tinchy. Tinchy. Patience part, Tinchy. Go ahead.
But now we're to that very famous part of resolve. Like, how do you even get through that? What does it even look like to wrap your mind around that?
Well, I'm gonna go for the parents, because the kids. I'm gonna go for the parents. I would say starting before the marriage, before the relationship, getting it out there, communicate. You know, I'm good for communication.
Yeah.
Communicate what's going on. Hey, I don't have a relationship with my family. I do have a relationship with my family. We're very close. We do everything together. How you feel about that?
Mm-hmm.
Communicate. Yeah. And even with this baby thing, don't wait till they get 7.
Yeah.
Don't wait till they get 7 to try to bring them through to see, you know, because the lady might have a little something in her heart for a little bitty baby. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Go ahead. I don't
know. Well, since you're on the baby thing, I would just say do what's best for the kids. Mm. And I know sometimes it's hard to get, but lessen yourself and just be adults and mature enough to think about the kids first. Mm-hmm. Think about them first. Because, you know, when you do what's right for them and create a good atmosphere for them, then you just may find yourself in a good situation to where now everybody can be good. Because we can see that we can actually work together. Mm-hmm.
It takes a village to raise a child. Right. So yeah.
Right. And then my other thing would be, like you said, create boundaries. Mm. Create boundaries, even if that means to come up with a timeline for yourself before you start dating or before you get in situations or introduce. Like, hey, if I really like this person, then a good 3 months, I'm going to be able to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Or I'm going to have the kid conversation. And then maybe whatever, I'm going to introduce them to this. Or if I don't feel like you're even a possibility in the first month, then okay, look, I can't even really be with you seriously because I'm a package deal and I can't move forward. So give yourself a timeline. Create those boundaries and stick to them.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, we have come to the point where we are going to definitely be looking for this because I want to know what y'all think about this. In addition to the questions that I'm about to pose, that we're going to post in the comments, I want to know what y'all think about this baby thing that she's talking about. Because, like, for my head stopped somewhere. My head stopped. So, yeah. So, first question. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you don't feel like you can deal with your spouse's parents? Mm. You don't feel like you can deal with their sisters and brothers or their family?
Or the baby and the baby mama.
What she said. The second question. If you have been in the situation, if you say, you know what, I am not staying in this house with your mama another day, what are you going to do about it? Mm-hmm. How did you have that conversation? Was it one where it was a blow up? Because you know sometimes it gets to a point. Do you try to nip it in the bud at the beginning, or do you just kind of let a whole bunch of stuff build up? Mm-hmm. How did you resolve it? And lastly, if y'all came through it, hopefully y'all did. Mm-hmm. Hopefully y'all did. What did you do? How? Let us know. How did you keep yourself from falling? You look just like your mama. Oh yeah. How you keeping your head together?
Right.
Yeah, how you keeping your head together?
Or how to give some tips on how you deal with in-laws. How do you turn it around? So you also know after us being interactive, we just do the summary. And today we talked about package deals. Like if you marry somebody, are you really married to that family? And is it a package deal? Do you really have to put up with all the shenanigans of everything? Especially with the children. Like if you are the single parent, when do you introduce your children? Are you okay with it being a package deal? Are you okay with dating somebody with children because it's a package deal, right? So we also had some resolves, and it was always get it out there. Let's talk about it. Hey, this is what I have. It is a package deal. How you feel about it? What's our boundaries? Are we gonna go to every holiday? Or are we just gonna, not? Can you understand that I have to co-parent, and are you okay with that? Get it out there and communicate about it. But then always think about the kids first. And that probably could go towards your in-laws too. Always think about, not put them first, but figure out how you can deal with it for the sake of your loved one. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So instead of thinking, oh, I don't never want to talk to your mama. Well, now come on. You know,
if we're gonna be doing this for a long time, you're gonna have to. So
you're gonna have
to figure out how to.
Right. And then the other thing is create boundaries, even if that means create a timeline. Even if you have to become a project manager when it comes down to, okay, I'm gonna date, I'm gonna put my kids in this is gonna be, and this is gonna be the turnaround or the result of this. So that's all I have on this.
Okay, y'all. So we want to thank y'all for stopping by here again.
Yes.
Sitting with us. We're going to look for y'all in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And remember,
not all colorful situations are the same, but you have the power to change your hue.